What's the best hip hop album of this decade so far? We're halfway through the 2020s at this point, so I'm going to go through some popular answers and tell you what I think of them. The Off Season's a great album. It's definitely one of J. Cole's best, but is it a generational record? Is it the best hip hop album of the 2020s? I don't think so. Call Me If You Get Lost is a great answer. I think it's Tyler the Creator's best rap album. I really wouldn't consider Igor a hip hop record. I know some people do, but I don't. I think what Tyler was doing with this record is after dropping that experimental synth-based concept record, he was like, I can still do hip hop too, and at the highest level. I know the Vamp still rides super hard for this album, but it's not my personal favorite Playboi Carti album. I personally love the sound of Die Lit a lot more. But it is super interesting to look back on this album and see how much it influenced the hip-hop scene for better or worse. Alfredo is still way up there for me. The instrumentals from The Alchemist on this record, I think, are some of the best of his career. And Freddie's voice just cuts through these beats like a knife. It's definitely one of the best collaborative projects in recent history. Speaking of collaborative albums, I don't think we're ever going to get another album that sounds exactly like Scaring the Hoes. Definitely one of the more unique albums of the 2020s. Production-wise, I still do wish that Danny's vocals were a little louder in the mix, though. Definitely not best of the decade territory, but I do love this sound for Lil Uzi. I kind of wish that he did anything remotely like this on the second one. I don't think there's been a more grand and cinematic hip-hop record than Simpy this decade. I'm a sucker for an epic, and this is nothing short of that. Speaking of epics, The Forever Story's at the top of everybody's list for a reason. This is the album that we all knew he was capable of for a long time, and I'm just really glad he stuck the landing. Savage Mode 2 might be the best trap album of the 2020s. I said it. I'm not kidding. A lot of people seem to forget about this one, but if you are looking for a horror film in album form, just listen to Visions of Bodies Being Burned. This is easily the best posthumous Juice WRLD project. I think it's good for a posthumous album, but it's not the best of the decade. Mr. Morale is great. I don't think that Kendrick has ever truly dropped the ball, but this album is flawed. The Kodak Black stuff is weird. I know the Kanye stans are going to bring up a Kanye album, and if you're going to, let it be this one. I do feel like Kanye already lost his perfectionism by the time this record came out, but the highs of this album are really high.